Press the button. So yeah, should now be live. So everybody, welcome to my first host and first live stream ever. Probably the last. This is not my thing, but yes, Game Club 52. Obviously, bunch of us in a group, trying to complete 52 games throughout the year. I think some of us have already done it. Some of us are close, and some of us are nowhere near, like myself. But yeah, it's just a bit of fun getting to play games. Gordon's created a wheel, which we are spinning every month to pick out one of the 3 games we've all picked. Last month's was Fireshark. I missed that due to moving. But then this month's happened to be my game, which is Murdered Soul Suspect. Came out on a variety of systems, obviously towards the end of one gen into the next. So we've got Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and obviously PC streaming, what have you. So we're going to talk about what we thought about the game, I suppose. What I've seen in the comments, most people seem to get on with it quite well. I previously completed it on the Xbox One when it first came out, and I just bought it on the 360, which is why I picked it as one of my picks, because it was just in front of me and it just came up. I managed to get the 1000G out of the 360 version. I had planned to go back to the one version and finish that off at the end of this month. I just didn't get around to it, playing other games on Game Pass and whatever. So yeah, we'll I guess we'll go around and see what people's thoughts are. Do you want to start off, Ross, seeing as you're to my right?
Yeah, can do. Same as you, to be honest. I played it on the Xbox One when it first came out. Literally, I think I didn't have much to play, so I think I bought this on release day. And
yeah, same.
It was still discounted at that point. I didn't think they had no hope for it, did they?
Yeah, I mean,
this time I
for a
played
new
the
IP
version. But
yeah, sorry, I'm butting in. You carry on.
That's all right. So yeah, I played through it again, this time on the 360, simply because I did actually have a PS3 version of it at some point, but I shifted it on. But yeah, I wanted to go for the gamer score again because I had the 1000G on it on the original Xbox, the original version I played, Xbox One version. But yeah, I found a lot of differences between the 2 versions, which I'll quickly mention because I don't want to spoil the story just yet. The 360 version, the overworld you run around in,
frame rate
is horrendous on it.
Yeah, I guess. Did anyone play it on the PS3?
Yep.
When it launched, it did.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, the kind of open world, or the town you roam around in to go to the next mission, like Ross was saying, you get because it's all open. There's no loading screens, but it kind of background loads as you're going from a section to section, and I found it a bit janky as I guess it's loading in the background, and I guess you had the same issue on PS3 as the 360.
It was 2014. I can't really remember what I had for
But then obviously I've played it on the one. You've played it on one. Did anyone play on the PS4?
I was PS4.
I did this time.
Well,
have any problems?
PS4 on PS5. PS4 on PS5. Yeah, no problems, to be honest.
Yeah, I've noticed on the Xbox One.
I've noticed like a lot of games on if you play PS4 games on PS5, if they're not being like calibrated properly, they can crash quite a lot. And for this to be quite an early sort of forgotten game, it run quite well, to be honest. So I was quite impressed.
Is there anything else, Ross?
I was going to say, I don't, if people don't know what the game is, it's like a third-person detective ghost stealth game. Does that explain it the most?
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, you get killed at the end of the game, and you need to hunt down who your killer is. That is the premise of the game.
Because there's sections like if you played the Batman Arkham games, where you got to find the little bits like in a detective mode type thing, haven't there?
Yeah. But I'll give a thing. Overall, I quite enjoyed the game enough that I was happy to play it twice. So we'll continue around until we start talking about the story and that. So see what.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Eddie, that Ross hasn't mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people who are expecting a game probably wouldn't enjoy it so much. For me, it felt like a cross between like Banjo-Kazooie and a Telltale game. It was like almost like a film, but you've got like the gamified bit of trying to find like collectibles and stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, I found it quite enjoyable, to be fair. The story was quite engaging. It wasn't like the most deep or anything like that. You kind of knew what was coming, but yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Well, when everyone's had thoughts, we can obviously go deeper into the story and
Yeah.
maybe potential spoilers for people who haven't played it. I don't know if we'll go that far, but can hint at them. Yeah. Mark, thoughts?
It's the
I think
best
you're the
thing.
only person that didn't like it. Is that right?
I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it. I'm glad it was only 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, because there's not much. It's really, I found it really, really repetitive.
Right.
Everything was just paint by numbers. Right, you do this now, then you do that, then you do that, then you go somewhere else, and you do the 3 stages or 4 stages again.
Yeah.
That's obviously we'll talk a bit more about AI and bugs and stuff that I had while I was playing it. But yeah, it's all right because I looked into the company a bit. They're called Airtight Games, and they went bust a month after the game came out.
Oh, really?
I think that much says everything about it.
Yeah.
That explains why it was cheap on launch, just liquidating the stock.
Well, it was because Square Enix, they published it and they wanted
Square
to
Enix game.
get into the Western market. And what I read, there was big arguments because obviously Japanese have their ghosts are different hours, you know, the mythology behind them. So they were butting heads over that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that didn't help. Because about 3 months before it was due to launch, half the staff got sacked that were working on the game. So it was kind of just rushed out, I think.
That explains why we never got a sequel.
Yeah.
I think it was the fact it didn't sell. Well, it didn't sell great. That might be the reason why it never got a sequel.
Yeah,
It can only be killed once as well.
The thing with new IPs, isn't it? It's always a risk, and it's why we don't get many now because companies don't want to take the risk on a new IP and failing. It's why we get so many sequels, remakes, HD remakes, remasters, that kind of thing.
You've just got to look at the movie industry. That's not just games. It's like
Same.
all the live action Disney films. It's like everyone's just run out of ideas, so they're just going back to things that we used to enjoy, hoping that people will go and watch them or buy them because of that.
Yeah, definitely.
And even if they do a bad film, people still watch it because it's like we want to see what they've done to your favorite franchise.
Yeah, so we want to get pissed off, don't we?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter at that point. They've taken your money, so like it doesn't matter if you like it or not.
Yeah.
Plus, a bad film only lasts a couple of hours. If you've got a bad game and you want to see it through to the end, you could be there for a long time.
Anything else to add, Mark?
That's it for the opening bit, Scott, mate.
Gordon, mate? Anything to add?
I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. It's more my kind of game. I like narrative-driven games a lot more than not narrative-driven games. I thought there was a lot of potential as well with the characters. I thought like Ronan was a brilliant character. I thought he was really cool, and he had a good kind of history to him. And I thought they could have done a bit more with it, but it was all right. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Good. Chili, obviously you joined the group after this started. Did you play the game?
I picked it up on sale when it was on sale months and months and months ago. It's on sale. I'll give it a go at some point. And I think I've got maybe 2 or 3 hours in, and I was like, yeah, I've had my fill. It like Mark said, it was very repetitive, but for a couple of quid, can't say no, really, can you?
Well, yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's a good thing to note. Like, I don't think any of us paid more than like a $5 for this game, and for that, it definitely had a good value to it.
I think your video is froze, Eddie.
Oh.
You are a static screenshot on my screen. Is everyone else seeing that?
Yeah.
He's
Probably
static.
is, yeah.
It can't buffer the light.
Well. Yeah, it can't handle it.
So yeah, obviously you play as Ronan O'Connor, as Ross said. You are a detective in Salem, and the game starts off. You're tracking down what's called the what's it called? The Bell Killer.
The
Bell Killer, and you burst into a room, and essentially you get pushed out of a window from a high floor. You hit the ground. you kind of wake up, but you've got like an out of body experience, and then you do this weird thing where you have to put your spirit back into your body. But as you do that, the killer comes up, he shoots you, you die, and then obviously the game is then you're trying to solve your own murder, as well as going around the city or village of Salem and helping other spirits solve their murders, and just basically trying to track everything down. But as Mark said, you go to various sections of Salem, like there's a hospital, mental asylum, graveyard, things like that. And yeah, you do a Batman kind of detective work where you're looking for clues to piece together a mystery or a murder, and then you're trying to solve it. But then obviously you move to the next point, and yeah, you do the same bits. You have abilities such as possessing the living. You can read their thoughts or kind of influence them to do certain things to get information out of the people, again, to solve the murders and things like that. I did find that the more you did in the world, the more collectibles you found, which there is a lot. This is a massive collectathon fest. If you like your collectibles, they're everywhere. Things from learning the history of Salem or characters, things like that. But I think the more you do collect and the more side missions you do, the better the experience of the game. You're learning more about the characters and things like that. And if you miss stuff, yeah, I think you are missing parts of the game, because there is some interesting things, and some of the other spirits that you help, there's some really interesting stories there.
They're really they're highlighted really well as well. It's not like it's just something in the corner. It's the flash, whatever. Was it yellow? So they really stand out as well. It's quite easy
they're not massively hard to miss. Like I was saying to Ross before the stream, like I got the full 1000G on the 360 version. I didn't use a guide. I just happened to find all the collectibles. I missed a couple on the one, which is why I'm going to go back to it. But yeah, it's not hard. And if you are a completionist, either trophies or achievements, it's not a hard game to complete. Like I say, 6 to 8 hours, depending on your ability level to get it all if you want to. And like I say, there is stealth sections. There's not any real combat. There are demons that partway through the game appear, and you have to kind of avoid them. Don't get seen by them, because I think it's like an insta kill if they find you. You can kind of run away and hide in spots, but you don't want them to catch you. But you can sneak up behind them and kind of, he does this weird thing and just evaporates them or destroys them.
I have to say, actually,
send them back to hell or whatever.
Yeah, you say you can kill them and get by that way, but there's no actual combat. It's not a shooter or a fight or anything like that. It is just like Gordon said, it's a story-driven detective game. Yeah.
Can I just check in those like demons you follow and sneak behind? You've got to do a little quick time event, don't you, to like kind of destroy them? But
Yes.
I found I had no issues with that on the Xbox One version. 360 one, because the frame rate would go a bit funny around the demons as well. The amount of times I tried to do the combination and it wouldn't register, and they'd turn around and I'd have to peg it.
I didn't experience that. I didn't have a problem with that, to be honest. Yeah.
All the time. Or I'd get behind them, they're walking away, they haven't turned around, there was no prompt to do it. So I'd have to run away and come back.
To be fair, I had that quite a lot as well on mine on PS4. Like that was a frustrating thing. It was like you'd do the best stealthiest move towards this demon, and then there was no prompt, and you're like there just hitting buttons, thinking, "Come on, it must hit," and then they just turn around and like just go ah.
And when you're running away from about 3 of them, and you're trying to get in there's like little ghost shadows you can hide in, and then if you've got about 3 on you, you can kind of zip to each one. But doing so, they kind of track you and try and sniff you out, if you like. And yeah, it's easy to get stuck in a corner and surrounded.
But that's what I mean by the repetitiveness. That was always the same. Maybe with the collectibles, I don't know if they added an upgrade system or something like that, where you could just take them out instantly, or you could, see them from further away or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just every.
I mean, if you hide in one of the spots and they don't see you, I suppose you could have an ability, like you say there, to just kill them from a hiding spot
or distract them.
You can get them from the hiding spot. If they get close enough, you can get them from the hiding spots.
Oh, okay.
Or should that be like a ranged attack or something? Aye.
Or distract them, like project another spirit in the corner of the room so they go there.
I think there is
like you could part of the game later on, but if you could learn to do the scream that kind of scares them away or something.
With the crows,
if you could, that would have been good.
Was there no way to, I don't know, turn on a TV or a device to distract them somewhere? Or am I thinking of
the crows distracted them, so that
you could get crows to distract them.
Yeah, you could poltergeist and turn the TV on, but I didn't find any reason to do that other than it was kind of cool.
I think that was more for the human enemies. That was
you did that if you wanted to like get them to do something, to look at what they're doing, or get them to walk through doors that you could.
Yeah, I think there's a bit in the church where there's a priest and he's like polishing the floor, because there are parts in the world where there's like hell hands coming out of the floor and you can't cross it. You need
better than 10-year-old's dick for once.
So tell a guy to go see someone and possess him, and he'll get you past that section.
Sorry, that's 10 minutes, and I've already mentioned paedophilia on your channel. I do apologise.
Matter to me, mate.
I will say that as well, just randomly, it wouldn't have worked in any setting other than Salem, I don't think, because where you're a ghost, you can walk through every wall, can't you? But where everyone in Salem was like obsessed with witches and all that, all got protections on their house, so it makes sense why you can't go through everything.
Yeah, so the open world's kind of dual layered. You've got the real world and the spirit world kind of mixed together, and obviously you being a spirit, you see both. You can't walk through anything in the real world unless the door's open. Is that right? So you can't just walk into houses for that reason. And then there are parts of the spirit world you can destroy with your abilities to bring down a wall, so you can get by and either find other routes around the Salem or find collectibles and things like that.
Yeah.
There is a point towards the end of the game where it does say it's point of no return, and obviously at that point you've got the option to go find collectibles, extra stories you've missed, and then obviously if you continue, that is, you go into the final section. If you want to do it again, you need to restart the game, although it does keep your collectibles that you have caught.
There's one slight problem with that point of no return is there's collectibles after it, so unless you know how many you need to be at the point of no return, you could be running around forever.
Because the point of no return's in the museum, and I knew I was missing a collectible in the museum, but there's a certain point where you walk by to start the cutscene, so I was trying to get around it, see if I could get the last collectible without starting that cutscene, but you can only get so far, and then there's like a timer, and obviously without spoiling too much, but there's something you have to do in there, and if you don't do it in time, it ends the game. So you're on a very limited time scale if you want it to do that way. But you can get them collectibles the first time you go to the museum. Yeah. Anything else anyone want to say about any part of the game?
Did any of you think did that little girl remind any of you of Wednesday Addams?
Yeah.
No.
Abigail or something her name was, wasn't it?
Abigail. Yeah.
I just found it. It didn't know whether the game didn't know whether it wanted to be serious or like more childlike, with the actual story. It was there was one bit where the dialogue was like there was blood everywhere, but you look at the character and there's like no blood around the character or nothing like that. It just didn't know what it wanted to be. I don't think if it wanted to be really like graphic and horror, it wanted to be more child friendly, I suppose.
I don't know. I didn't get that kind of feeling from it.
Yeah, I mean, as well, back in them days, like an 18 game is like a death knell on sort of like games, because people wanted to have like that all age sort of like grouping of like maybe like a 15 or something.
Yeah.
So you can't go too graphic back then, at least anyway. Now we're all old farts. Everyone's like, it doesn't matter for an 18 plus kind of game. But back then it was a big deal.
I know, but like Resident Evil was 15 and that had blood and stuff. Like, you've just been shot 6 times and no blood comes out of you whatsoever. And your tab doesn't even leave your mouth.
A bit of smoke from the
I was confused by the cigarette that he had the entire time he was a ghost.
Yeah, it was just constant.
Loved it.
It was like Snake Plissken, dressed like Justin Timberlake.
I did like the effects though when he's getting shot and you see the light coming through his spirit. That was pretty cool. As each bullet goes through, it obviously creates a hole. You can see that obviously on the main character there. He's got his shot.
Actually, talking about things appearing on him, the beginning cutscene, all his tattoos of his life appear on his body, but you never see his tattoos in the game, do you? He's just always wearing the same clothes. So
yeah,
that's a bit random.
Parts of the story, it explains some of them, don't they? The parts of his life that is, or things that have happened. So obviously, this is one thing that I was kind of unsure about. So his past life, he was a criminal, and I think he did some pretty bad stuff. But now he's a detective as part of the police force. Like, how does that work? Like, you're this really, and obviously there's some cops that don't like him, typical, what have you. But yeah, he was this really bad guy, but now he's all of a sudden this serious detective. Like, that didn't really gel or click with me, but it was interesting.
We're trying to do that bad cop, good cop. Like, I've changed my life around, sort of. Just the typical tropes of like films and like games, isn't it? Really.
And obviously, he's got that nothing to lose thing because his wife had been killed, or I don't remember how she died. She either just died or had got murdered or whatever. But his wife was dead, and he was obviously, with him being out of spirit, he's also trying to find a way to communicate or find her as well. Is that under?
It reminded me a bit of the Darkness. You know, the Darkness games.
Yeah.
It reminded us a bit of that with the story, like the way they'd set it up. Like an anti-hero type thing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, Darkness! Don't tell
Best
me
thing about the Darkness games.
Darkness is amazing.
Randomly, the lead guy in the Darkness is voiced by Mike Patton.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Actually, no, I do know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I tell you something really random? That like voice acting that I found out. Can any of you remember it was on the same time as Saved by the Bell, a show called California Dreams?
Yeah.
Remember the
name? The only one. It was where they were a band, and it was like Saved by the Bell, but it was a band. And I was looking up the lead singer from the band, like the TV show, just because I wanted to see where he was now, 20 years later. And he actually did the voice work for JC Denton out of Deus Ex.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I found that interesting.
Well, I always find like talking about like old like video gamey kind of things. You know, like the Wizard, the Nintendo advert from back in the day. Super Mario Brothers 3. The advert that is a film. Like the little ginger girl, she became like a singer for like a really big band. She's called like Jenny Lewis, and she does like her own like stuff and like got massive in America, like just from being in a band. Yeah, but like I just know her from like the Wizard. She went to the Nintendo World Championships, and it was like a big story how she got to it.
Right. So, anything else? We've covered quite a bit. Any other thoughts on the game?
Everyone's favorite section.
Should we spoil the story? Should we?
I mean, the game's been out long enough. We've said we've been playing it for a month. People have had a chance to play. There obviously is a twist at the end. Obviously, you're trying to track down the Bell Killer, one person. But it transpires there are multiple for a reason, but the people who are the Bell Killer don't know they're the Bell Killer. Mm-hmm. Did anyone see the twist coming? Did anyone like it? Anyone shocked, surprised, or thoughts on?
I knew his brother was going to have some involvement, or his brother-in-law. I didn't see it coming, but I wasn't shocked when it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think all these twist films are a bit like that anyway. It's like you don't know it's coming, but you're like, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. Whenever it's a whodunit, you know there's going to be a twist because the whole game's setting it up to be the Baxter guy, isn't it? And then find him dead.
He was the one straight away. You were like, it's not him.
Exactly.
It's not him straight away, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so at the start of the game, obviously when you become a spirit, there's a little girl who's kind of your spirit guide, and she's showing you around, telling you things you can do and giving you bits of advice. And obviously throughout the game, you're also kind of tracking her down as well to find out what's going on. But yeah, there's a cop who doesn't like you, and it sets it out to be that he's the Bell Killer. But then I think later in the game, does he he get murdered as well.
His eyes get gouged out.
Yeah, and then obviously
in the basement.
You've got your brother-in-law who's also a detective with you, and it tries to push it. Is it him? Is it not? And yeah, at the end, big spoiler warning. It's everybody, including yourself. And these people don't know they're the Bell Killer because they've been possessed by an evil spirit who's been getting them to do her dirty work through the years. And for various reasons, I think, was she haunted as a witch?
Yeah.
No, she was imprisoned and killed for she was accusing people of being witches when they weren't.
Right.
So in her death, before her death, she said she was going to come back and get people who she thought was witches. So anybody who was like a medium who could communicate with the other side, she saw as being a witch. I think it's something like that. That's why she hunted mediums and.
Yeah, because obviously a character with Mist, there's you find a woman who is a medium and she can communicate with the dead, and obviously you're trying to protect her and help her and things like that to again work out various plot points. And towards the end, I think it's her you're trying to rescue because she's been captured by your brother-in-law. So it looks like he's the killer, but then obviously the events transpire that it's this spirit that's possessed him, and like Ross says, she's
a proper character from the time as well, though, isn't it? It was when we were just coming out of like the emo stage, where all the characters kind of looked like they were listening to My Chemical Romance and cutting themselves in back alleys and shit like that.
Yeah, lost Eddie,
Skater boy.
I mean, we're pretty much covered it. I enjoyed the game for what it was. Like, say, now you can get it so cheap. It's worth it just for a couple of quid for a few hours. Enjoy the story, and you can soon get through it.
It would have been better, like if they made it like, say, Heavy Rain, if it was more like that style, or like the dark anthologies that we're getting now.
Right,
because there was a decent story there. It was just the gameplay. Like, I know there's not much gameplay to Heavy Rain and stuff like that, but I don't know. I just found it really boring and repetitive, just doing the same
I
thing.
enjoyed the bits with all of the detective work, actually, even though there wasn't much to it because it told you how many clues were remaining. If it didn't, it probably would have made it a bit more.
And everything, like we said before, everything's highlighted, so you kind of know where to look.
Yeah.
And I think there's press to highlight stuff as well, is there not?
I just didn't like the bits with the demons. They just annoyed me. If they weren't there and it was just a pure detective thing, kind of like the crappy CSI games I used to like playing.
But like,
I like detective games.
I feel like they were shoehorned in. It was like I think it was supposed to be more like a Telltale game, and then someone went, "No, we need more gameplay." I mean, don't forget this was very early on. Like there was not many games that were like this back then, and I think people thought like you needed more gameplay in a game like this. But obviously, that's the bit that frustrates us, where they're trying to make gameplay from nothing, and it's so basic. Although my favorite bit was being the cat. The cat was the best bit.
There's a couple that one's I think
the
it's just
Xbox version of
there is a part of the game where you have to be the cat to do a little bit of a puzzle, platforming, if you like, to get to a certain part of the church. I
tell you what, it took me a while to learn how to jump. You have to like run towards something to then jump up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so lost. I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to do this." But I was just going around being a cat, and then all of a sudden it just happened.
Well, like the bit where you're escaping like the asylum, and you've got to open the doors, and then you've got to turn the radio on to distract the guards and stuff like that. It was like the guards were just so stupid. You'd turn on the radio, and they'd go and stand next to it and just stare at it for like 5 minutes.
Walk by them right next to them, and they can't hear you.
Yeah.
That's my kind of stealth kind of game, because I can't do it. That's the level of stealth I need in a game. I can't do any more than that.
You said that like the enemies felt like they were like shoehorned in. I think that they wanted way more, but were told to remove them, because you walk around that game a lot, and there's always areas where you can just hide in those ghost shadows.
Yeah,
but it's areas you'll never see an enemy in. Like it's everywhere.
Is there a difficulty set? Is there a difficulty level?
I don't think
there is.
Because I just thought they were just there for like maybe higher difficulties. They just didn't get rid of them.
Well, if you could go faster if you just kept jumping from one to one.
Yeah.
Instead of walking. That's how I used it. I thought it was just like that.
Okay.
It might have been a speed running thing, but I just thought it was really bizarre that you could do that when you wouldn't ever need to.
Yeah, in the open world, they're everywhere, and I don't think there's a single demon in the open world.
It would have been quite good if they'd had some like extra character, like play maybe as a different character, as like Derek Occur or something like that. Just to proper mix it up. A vet fielding.
Another one that's been brought onto the force who was like a bad guy, a nonce cop or something.
Derek Occur has definitely got nonce vibes, like there's without a shadow of a doubt. Or like Whoopi Goldberg, maybe Dolores or whatever she was called. Or Patrick Swayze. You could
Swayze, I say that.
Yeah. You get a finger, Demi Moore, something like that. That would have been quite good.
There was one bit actually and it was the asylum that my game. I don't know if it glitched or I was just being stupid or it got stuck. But you have to, like I was saying, you have to open doors and turn off cameras so the girl can get by. And I had one bit where she just wouldn't move and she just stood there for ages. And I'm running all the way around the map trying to work out what to do. And all of a sudden, then she just started walking. But I had to just sat there for ages. I don't know if I'd missed
never any glitches on both playthroughs. No glitches, I don't think.
No, I didn't have any glitches. But my worst bit was like a camera in the asylum. I would be able to walk through the whole asylum, and I was like, why is she not following me? And it was because of one camera, and I was like, I had to go back and figure it out.
Probably what mine was. Yeah. So
there should have been a joke ending, shouldn't there? Where they fucking kick down the door and a Ghostbuster suck him up.
Like Silent Hill, where there's a dog controlling all levers.
Yeah.
Just a really pissed off old Bill Murray.
Right. So, I mean, that's half hour. Has anyone else got anything else to add to the game or thoughts, or should we get on to possibly spinning the wheel?
Game for a spin.
I love how I love how like a shmup that had like so little story and everything like that, we was able to talk about it for 2 hours. And like a game that's like full on just story, like lots to talk about. 30 minutes, let's go.
I mean, sorry, when I started the game, I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't know it was set in Salem. So that was quite interesting for me. And after playing like Little Hope, like to see all the methods of the kind of the murders was pretty cool. I quite enjoyed that side of it. I like that sort of stuff, like with the chair against the chair against the tree and things like that. Aye, that was pretty cool. I thought the characters were really interesting. I really thought Ronan was cool when, like you were talking about, Scott, with the collectibles, and you found out more about his history and stuff like that. I thought that was really good. I really enjoyed that. And I thought it had some potential to go and investigate some of that and find some of his previous murders. And do you know what I mean? Just thought that sort of stuff could have been really cool, but yeah, I just don't think the game caught on that well. So
yeah, I think this is what I was saying. Like, I think that the collectibles are almost a necessity if you want to experience the game. Like, you need to collect them to learn the characters, learn the history of Salem, learn the things behind all the other murders and things.
It reminds me of, say, like a walking simulator before a walking simulator. Like a game like Gone Home, you can complete that super fast and not know what the hell's going on. But if you follow all the collectibles and story and bits of that, that makes it a much better game. I think it had that kind of thing, so you needed the collectibles.
Well, you think?
So did anyone do a guide or anything like that, or did you just play it just fresh?
I used a guide just before the point of no return to find the collectibles I've been missing.
So you went back. So you did. So how much do you think you did just doing it like yourself? Like what percentage of the game?
Quite a lot. I was only missing probably about 10 collectibles, I would have thought.
Oh really? Yeah.
And it wasn't too hard to work out what they were, because you get like different achievements for different things, like completing this person's story or this thing. So you could see which ones they were kind of when
so
they
many
were in.
collectibles, you get an achievement like every 10, 20, 30. It's not them numbers, but something like that or percentage.
But then you get them for completing like a story of a thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Like if you find all of the boilers, you get a story from something. So you could tell if you were missing that story, you could find out where they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of it I just got whilst playing through. And I had to look to see how many, because I was like, as I said, walking around for a while thinking, point of no return here, or there's bits missing. So I had to look to see how many you were supposed to have when you went to the point of no return. There's only like 2 or 3 after it, which is in the beginning bit of the area, which you couldn't get beforehand. So
I think some of the harder ones are the ones where you have to use your sensibility, and there's like a picture on the wall, and then
they're the only ones that don't like glow from like a long way away, and you have to pretty much walk around and see like a reveal thing, and then it just
that's it. Yeah, I had one as well where I knew where it was, but the reveal prompt didn't come up, and it took me ages to get it, to try and stand in the right place to see the prompt.
Yeah, when I was going back through the guide, one of the ones I was missing was one of them, and I couldn't find it no matter what. It's like it's on this wall, and I was just running up and down this wall until it just finally popped up.
Yeah, them graffiti things, I don't know how anyone would be able to do that. Like, I think I had like 5 or 6 out of like 20 odd.
Yeah.
And like, that wasn't something that you could just do. I'm sure of it.
It took me ages to find them all. I literally scouring the walls and whatever. Obviously, if you opened a wall or you could get into it out the way location, that there was something there. And if there wasn't a collectible on the floor, then there's a good chance there's a reveal prompt somewhere on the wall.
Yeah, there's those weird like symbols in that's close to the reveal.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a thing.
Glow symbol, and they get bigger as you get close to paint. So there is a hint at where they are. It's just then locating the actual wall it's on.
It just felt like filler, like just to try and stretch out the actual gameplay. Some collectibles, you don't mind in games. You don't mind getting them because the main game's so good. It was just like the best part of this game was collectibles, and that really shouldn't be a game, should it? Like,
well, that's why I felt like I akined it to sort of like Banjo-Kazooie. Really, it's like it was like the adult version of Banjo-Kazooie. It really was, like, because it was just more about that than it was the story itself. But yeah, it was, I don't know. Sometimes it was quite nice to see this extra story come from something, from finding collectibles.
To be honest, if the game didn't have achievements and like things, that spurred me on to find next bits, because I'm like, I know if I get all of these in this area, I'll get the achievement for it, and I know I'm done and I can move on.
Yeah, I mean, the main story you can blitz through in a couple of hours, no problem. I think there's only like a few areas you go to. And there's no need to go back to them areas. I think you only go back to them once or twice for, again, story-related stuff. But yeah, you can soon get through the story if you just want the main story. But yeah, the collectibles.
Yeah, you could smash it out in 2.5 hours, I reckon.
Yeah,
you would just gunning for it. Like,
maybe with the tattoos, like because they told the story of his past life. Maybe you could have like had flashbacks and you played sections. When he was still alive or something like that. That might be.
Yeah, that'd been cool. Yeah,
broke it up a bit.
Like I think there was 4 souls, like side souls you could save, wasn't there? There was like 4 people. The guy in the car crash, the woman by the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Brad. Was it Brad?
Brad, that's him. Yeah, aye.
That woman at the beach did my bloody head in. She was the first thing that really got me stuck, because I was like one collectible off from finding her story. She was doing my head in, and I was like, I'm sure there's like a saloon or something like that, where I was like, there was something on the top deck. It looked like something like a collectible on the top deck of like this saloon, and I was like, how the hell am I supposed to get up here? I'm sure that's the one bit that's missing. It took me ages to find it, but I'll find it eventually. But yeah.
They could have fleshed them out a bit more, because all of their collectibles are like in a very small area around where the person is. So.
Exactly, yeah.
But
that's it. Because she was quite early on. I thought it was going to be further afield, but it really wasn't. It was like right next to her that I was missing.
Like, what? I don't know how I died. Is it the boat next to you? Like...
That's it, yeah.
I think the first person was in the apartment, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, the woman who drowned. Is it she drowned?
I have no idea. I missed her.
Oh no,
in the boiler.
Spoiler.
He murdered her.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to go to the old man and woman, and it turns out dead, murdered her, and left her body somewhere, and she then
I've
had
been
to
making
proper
too much
pissed off
noise.
by an old pal.
Oh well. But I played that Ghostwire Tokyo, and that's kind of similar in a way as well. That there's loads of different spirits, and you have to go and like redeem the story and things. That was pretty cool. That was like Soul Suspect times 1,000.
I
that
really
was
enjoyed
great.
Ghostwire Tokyo. Really enjoyed that. That was a banging game.
Astral Chain's a bit similar. It's like very detective-y, but like it's like Murdered Soul Suspect crossed with Devil May Cry. It's like very random.
I want to play that. That looks really good.
It's good, but it's very slow. There's two varied gameplays that just kind of like counteract each other. It's like because like with Devil May Cry, kind of like action, you want to be like flowing and like keep going, but it's just broken up too much by like sort of detective work.
That's too expensive for me.
It's a game that should be as forgotten as it is, though.
Astral Chain. It looks class. Aye.
It was one of the first. It was that and Zelda where I bought the Switch. And Bayonetta. They were the only 3 reasons I got a Switch.
Yeah, Bayonetta is one I want to pick up. Third one's only Switch, isn't it? But such a
good
game. I've just on the Switch.
Wii U.
Yeah, but I was like very again. That was the same for me. But how bad the frame rate was on a detective game just annoyed me so much about the Switch.
Look at Metal Gear Solid. You know the collection that's coming out. The Switch, it's 60 frames per second, but the Switch can only get 30 frames per second on games that came out 20 years ago.
Right, I've got one more person backstage. I'm just going to pop someone. I'll just pop you off for a second, Chili.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bring in Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to come on still playing it, finishing it off.
Yeah, I finished it today.
You just finished it today.
it was a grind. I got to be honest, but no, it was okay in the end. You know what I mean? I'll explain more in a bit if you're in mid chat.
No, if we've all gone through it. If you want to run through your thoughts and opinions on the game, mate, you go through it.
Yeah, that's I'd sum it up as a grind. You know what I mean? It was really frustrating. You know. It was just like I felt at times like I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do here? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, that bit in the station, I was stuck in there for it seemed like forever. I'm like, like going around trying to find the clues, etc. You know what I mean? I think a bit of me is like I'm a little bit impatient, so sometimes I won't read what's on the screen. Just click a button. So get me to the next part, please. You know what I mean? I'm moving along. But you know what? And it's. I think someone else mentioned it. You know, Paul in Northern said it just seems a little bit dated. You know what I mean? But I'm glad I played it. All in all, I'm glad I played it. You know, because it's one I've had on 360. I bought it launch. I've got a sealed copy. You know what I mean? But I bought it from CEX and it was like £4 on PlayStation 4. I thought for £4.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a cheap game.
It's a £4 game. Yeah, I got like some entertainment value out of it. I felt like the story. I started getting a bit more into it as I got near the end because when it started really sort of moving quite quickly.
Yeah.
When you sort of found out like about I think it was after you left the church. You know what I mean? Or you went, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was good. It was okay. You know what I mean? It's just like I say, it's a bit grindy. I did quite enjoy the stealthy sections, though. For ages, I'm like, why am I not killing these demons? Because it says like it gives you a direction on the pad, and a button press. I was going, oh right, it's on the D-pad. I kept on going to the D-pad rather than like the twin sticks.
Okay.
I'm like, why are they killing me all the time? I'm doing what it's telling me to do, and then figured that out. So, right. But yeah, they were a little bit frustrating, the demons, but that was quite, made it a little bit, mixed it up a little bit, threw in a bit of stealth in there. It was just a bit of a collectathon at times.
Yeah, that's what we said.
You know what I mean? And there's no, like, once you've done it, you've done it. There's no reason to go back to it. You know what I mean? You know what happens.
Yeah.
There's no replayability. Zero.
What about the platinum? What about the platinum, Dylan?
The Platinum? Did I? I don't know. I don't know what.
No, like that's the way to go back. Like get the platinum.
No. I've just said it was a grind. I wouldn't go back to play it. You know what I mean? But no, but that's what this is all about, isn't it? This is like, chucking out games out there that we maybe haven't played or whatever, or have played, and we can revisit them. You know what I mean? And just have new experiences and stuff. And no, it was like I say, it's done. I can say I've played that now. But.
No, I agree.
Yeah, sorry, I missed like the 45 minutes you've been live, so I've not seen what you have said about it. But
yeah, it's pretty much what we've all collectively said in parts. It's the general consensus of the game. So yeah, it's.
Well, that's the thing I love about this. Like, I remember, like, I think you guys, both you and Russ, both said like how this was one of the games that was like out there when the new generation came out, and that was about it. Yeah. And I always was like, should I buy it? Should I not? There were so many bad reviews, but it was like there was no other games at that time, and it was like and it's just intrigued me since then, because I was like, I like that kind of like the look of it. It's like really dark and stuff. Like I love that kind of gameplay, especially like from the darkness. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that. But yes, I'm glad that someone's forced my hand to play it, because if it wasn't for that, I would have played it. Yes, it wasn't like a 10 out of 10 game kind of thing, but it was enjoyable enough to I enjoyed the week that it took to play it.
Yeah.
What does everyone think? Like, what score would you give it?
4.
Who said that?
5?
Who said 4?
Me.
Oh.
Yeah. I'd probably give it a 5. You know what I mean? A 5 or a 6. You know what I mean? I think it's it's a game of its time. I think, to be honest, you know what I mean.
I'd push it to a 6. I enjoyed the short time I played it for. But like I said, it's not amazing, but it's the short time you had with it. I enjoyed. It was a good time.
I remember enjoying it more when I first played it than what I did this time. I don't know if it was because it was one of the only games that was out at the time for the PS4. But
this is what I was saying. I'd give it a 6.5 to a 7, only because when I played it originally, I didn't have much for the Xbox One. I enjoyed it. It was something different, and I didn't know that the story the first time through was good fun. I enjoyed it, but playing it again, it wasn't as much fun playing it a second time.
Well,
so that's really not
on the one, and then you're going back to 360 with a jankiness. It's gonna If I'd started playing it on a 360, I'd be like, the frame rate and the technical issues, it would have probably forced me away from it pretty quick. But yeah, when I played it smooth as butter on the Xbox One, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
But I like walking simulators, and I like story-driven games, and I like collectible platformers, so it kind of goes well for me.
A bit of trivia as well, though. A bit of trivia, because I was like, I said to Scott before, I'll go out and walk the dog, and then when I walk the dog, I'll come back, I'll jump on. You know what I mean? So on my walk, I listened to some reviews on my phone, and a tidbit of information I found out. Apparently, the character was based on John McClane from Die Hard. I don't know how. You know, when he said he wanted it, he said he wanted to base a character roughly like, I think that sort of grouchy sort of feel to him. You know what I mean?
Is that the Japanese side of the development studio?
Yeah, you're just looking at Mark in utter disgust. Like,
I remember that bit when John McClane pretended to be a cat. That was
That's how we got through the vents.
Yeah, the vents sorted.
Oh well, there has to be a vent section, especially back then. Like as I remember Castlevania, they had a vent section, but you was a rat.
and the studio who made the game closed down, didn't he? Like, it was the game he made, wasn't it?
Yeah, the only Dark Void, they did that one.
Oh right, okay.
And there was one more, and then this was supposed to be the big hit.
Okay, if it's the I enjoyed Dark Void. That is something somebody should have put in this. I enjoyed that.
I got that.
So bad, it's good.
I can remember people saying Dark Void is going to be the next generation rarity of a game, because no one's going to buy it. No, it's like £2 everywhere.
Yeah.
But graphically as well, it had that sort of Japanesey look to it, you know what I mean, with the way that the character models are done, you know what I mean, like sort of like Capcom-y, sort of like like Dead Rising, or all those sort of Japanesey games, it had that sort of look to it, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, it just, you know, I don't know what it would have played like on a, you know, like a last gen or whatever, 360 PS3 version, you know what I mean, how that would have played. Yeah,
Badly.
Badly.
It was Square Enix trying to get into the Western market, wasn't it?
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. They wanted to appeal, you know, games appeal to Western audiences, you know, and yeah, there was just so many. I mean, I think the other thing they said, there was loads of big games that came out that year. Apparently, they said in this review, in Mario Kart 8, they mentioned, and Destiny came out that year as well. You know what I mean? So there was like some big games that just got buried, basically. I think that, you know, and it didn't, and you know, the reviews at the time weren't that great for it. You know, it was getting average scores, but you just didn't help at all, really, did it?
I think like nowadays, like, can you imagine like like I think who was it? Gordon was on about there's no sequel to this game. A sequel now would be really well made. Like as long as it's like well made and like it's done with like what people have learned from games over the last few years, where like take that Telltale formula, take the great storytelling from that, but then like add like the gameplay elements, but like done better. Like where it mixes up more, not just that one enemy scattered throughout. Like it could be something really good. Like if they did it nowadays, I think.
Say how it would work well is if it was done like What Remains of Edith Finch, like that you go through the areas, you see stuff, then you play a bit of like a completely separate bit of story which goes down a different path, so you could see a murder that you had to solve, and that kind of thing would go really well.
Or like, you know, when you're in the asylum, if it wasn't the demons, if it was people who had gone mad, then they're the ones you're trying to avoid as ghosts. Yeah. When you're in the church, you know, whatever ghosts that you've got in the graveyard, instead of just the same demons, like 3 demons every end of every level.
It has some interesting settings that you go to that, like I say, it's got more potential than probably what they used it for.
Yeah.
To be honest, in the asylum, a fuck ton of schizos chasing you.
Yeah.
That'd be creepy.
Second Sight still got the greatest asylum level ever.
Second Sight's great.
Amazing.
I mean, did everyone like did anyone do all, like, you know, like you had to like there's like certain like little side bits you got to. Did anyone do like anyone get all the clues or
did everything?
Yeah.
Did you?
You're talking to Dylan.
If you do that, really,
you do know that you're talking to like achievement hunters up there. These are like the achievement hunters up there, like 1,000 score. It doesn't count.
Yeah, there was just like some of them. One I struggled on was that one where it was like on the beach. And it was like
that's what I said as well. I said the same thing, Dylan. It was like this one clue that was right next to you.
For like forever. You know what? Sack this. I'm getting off, and I walked up the church and just left it. And there was another one there was that one where there was like a petrol station.
Yeah,
I did most of it, but then I couldn't find them all. I thought, I just couldn't be bothered. I thought, no, I want to move on. You know what I mean?
But I eventually got the beach girl. It took me the second time when I walked back. I was like, let's go find it again. Come on. One. It was right next to it. It was right next to the boat. There was like 3 clues in the boat. That's how ridiculous it was.
Oh. That's another thing as well. Sometimes like you get like little bits of like scenery and you think, oh, that's a clue. And you walk up to it and nothing with that. It'd just be some little weird white sort of triangle or whatever, you know what I mean? Just a bit of scenery, and you think it was just dead frustrating at times like that. But I did quite like the designs of the demons though. I thought they were quite cool actually.
There was fucking ring wraiths, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought they were nice. It was quite cool actually, yeah.
Yeah, obviously they're the only things that I say the only things that can kill you in the game, and it's quite
that's it. I mean,
it's part in the game where the ghost train is going through the museum.
Oh yeah,
you get hit by the train. That's the only thing in the game that could kill you. And I think that was a
and the hands coming out of the
floor, where
on the floor,
potentially have an achievement or a trophy for completing the game without dying, and that would just proper fuck you up on losing that. I think that'd make it a bit harder for hunters.
I think I made it through without dying.
That train killed me the most in the game. It killed me about 5
only because I knew the train was there, so I was okay with that. But yeah, I never got killed by any of the demons.
No.
I got chased a lot by them.
Yeah.
And I just dart around in the stupid fucking jelly baby things that float around. You can jump in.
Yeah.
But yeah, they never killed me. They just chased me and screamed at me.
And another thing, what was it? I found frustrating is again, it all goes back to this thing about like not where it's going. I think it's right near the end of the game. You're in the house. You've just gone down to the basement, and there's that bit with the the girl and the priest or whatever, and you're like trying to get, and you go right. You got to go. The girls in the museum or whatever, and you got to go see her. And I was stuck in the house. I couldn't find my way out of the house. It was actually ages. Then it was like I walked, and it was like there's some stairs going up to, and oh no, it's right by the stairs. There's a door, and it was just there. I was like,
I did spend my time wondering. Like, I know it explains why you can't get through doors, and there's certain bits that are like been blessed basically because of the witches and all that shit. Why can you walk upstairs? Why do you not go through them?
Game logic.
I thought the voice acting was quite good in the facial animations. Because I was playing it when Starfield came out, and the facial animation actually looked better than like what Starfield was doing, like now. Or was that just me?
That's the game. They've never had good facial animation.
I believe you. I do actually believe you. I
had to get a little knock to Xbox and
love it.
Big fan of Xbox. I've not bothered to play Starfield. It's not my kind of thing.
I've played it. I've shelved it for now.
I will play it probably in a year's time once it's all like because Cyberpunk. I replayed that 2 weeks ago, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. But when I played it on launch, I turned it off.
Yeah,
it's the best game he's ever played. Do you know what? Like, I've started playing it again, like recently, and what's frustrating me is there's actually too many people now. I keep bumping into them, and like whereas before you could just get to where you wanted to be.
Yeah, but you can talk to most of them, or most of them have got like dialogue and stuff.
Really?
I just loved it, me.
I do need to. I've got it to play, but I downloaded it originally on PC, so when I played it, it was actually pretty good the first time, but. I get a bit pissed off sitting at the PC playing stuff. I'd rather sit at the computer, sit at the TV and just lounge out and play stuff. So I play it on console.
Going back to Murdered though, did anyone like see what the actual think? Oh yeah, I know what the ending's going to be, and could see it coming, sort of thing. Or did anyone go? Oh right, they felt it was that like that Baxter fella. Oh yeah, it's got to be him. He's shady looking at him or what?
I thought it was his brother-in-law. I thought he had something to do with it. I didn't realize it was going to be me. But I said earlier, I wasn't shocked when I found out it was, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I played it when it first come out and completed it, but then going back playing this again, I'd completely forgot the story. So it was all new again. So I was enjoying the story again and finding the twists. And
maybe if they'd done it with your choices that you made at certain points, the killer might have been different people. You know, like go back to
I remember playing it the first time. I was talking to Chrissy. I was like, I'm pretty sure we're the killer. I don't know why. And that was it. But then when I got to the end and found out it was loads of different people and we were involved in it, I was like, okay, didn't see all of that coming.
Yeah.
Again, a modern version of this would probably have that like allowance for like different gameplay, like playthroughs and stuff like that. Like back in them days, there was one ending and that's all you could have. Like nowadays, it's like multiple endings, and it's like what we all had is a different experience.
Yeah,
it was one of those. Give it an extra year in development, and it could have been something much better.
Yeah. I mean, if we talked Quarry right now, I'm sure our experiences would be completely different. Like, because
I don't know. I've probably seen everyone's experience of the Quarry so far. I've played it so many times.
Well, you got to remember as well. It's we were still in the I know Call of Duty is still huge, but like that 360 PS3, then we'd just gone into the PS4. It was the biggest thing in the world, wasn't it? Right. It was every game had to be a first-person military shooter, or it didn't get looked at.
Yeah,
I play so little first-person shooters now.
I don't play them. I'll play the likes of Bulletstorm or Titanfall, you know, something a
last,
bit.
yeah, the last
quirky
one I
and different.
played was, and I never got all the way through it, was Titanfall 2. You know what I mean? Just kind of
Amazing game,
so much hype around it.
Oh, I love Titanfall 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's class.
But
I love the first one, and I don't do multiplayer shooters. I love that. So
I do keep threatening to play it because I've heard so many good things about it. Is Doom 2016? You know, everyone said that's really good.
Yeah,
I never
the new
finished
Doom
it, but
game's
it was good what I
wicked.
played.
Great.
I'm playing Atomic Heart at the minute, which is kind of a first-person shooter. It's a bit Bioshocky, where you've got powers in one hand and you're shooting. That's a pretty decent modern.
What's that other one? That Tokyo Ghost one.
Yeah, Gordon's just saying he's played that. It's on my list to play.
Yeah,
Tokyo is good.
It's Shinji Mikami game, isn't it? So it's
I didn't realise that.
Tango game where so the same people who did Evil Within.
Yeah,
massive
I
game.
watched the Evil Within film the
class.
other day. I watched that Evil Within film the other day. That was the weirdest experience I've ever been through.
You know what's weird, Eddie?
It was like a TV.
Frozen.
It was like, am I frozen again?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I watched that Evil Within film that I showed everyone the other day. Yeah, it was like a TV movie. It was very strange. Very strange. Kind of good.
Every time I go downstairs, Chris is watching some kind of TV movie.
Well, like if you the beginning of Evil Within, if anyone's ever done not done acid, that is exactly what acid is like. It was amazing. It was like you're bringing back some flashbacks. It was.
So he's mentioned before as well. Quarry, is the Quarry in that game wheel? I assume no one's picked it up.
It's not. No.
I'd play that again. I'd like
really good, man.
Quarry.
But you know what I played also recently was the Chant. The Chant is fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
It's cool. On Prime Day. Put it down.
Honestly, it took me aback. I thought it would be okay, but I played it and I absolutely loved it. It's so good, man. It's so good.
Is that like a Resident Evil style? Am I wrong?
It's more old school kind of survival horror, but it's just so good. It's so good. Honestly, I was taken aback.
I thought it was more like the Supermassive games, like the.
No.
Is it not?
No. It's proper kind of.
I have to pick that up.
Person. Yeah. Really good. You played. I think you played it.
I beat it on day one.
Horror.
I did. I beat it.
It was so good. Aye.
Well, now I've finished this game, I can move on to Spider-Man, which is up there.
Oh, nice.
Because I've got my console, I've got the code. I just need to.
Platinumed it, no?
Yeah, I platinumed it.
If you talk to Mike, it only takes 5 minutes to platinum.
It was only 30 hours for the platinum, and it came out on Friday, so it's not like
how
only 30 hours.
The main story took me 20 hours, 21 hours, I think. But that was doing quite a bit of, well, not quite a bit, probably about 50% of the collectibles and side content as well, which is really, really good. None of it's filler. I reckon if you just did the main story, I think you could do it in about 15 hours, which I think is perfect for a game like Spider-Man.
I love the first one. First one is amazing. You know, that was one I fully got into. I got all the little missions I did try to. I didn't get a platinum on it, but everything I could try and do, all the suits. I mean, there was one suit I couldn't get because there was an element of it that I never got. It was that mission where it was almost you had to basically swing through rings or whatever, or you had to do some.
The pigeons, yeah. Aye.
What's it called, Gordon?
No, you had to chase the pigeons. You had to catch all the pigeons.
There was something like that. You know, there was some fella you gave you challenges. You had to do all the challenges, and if you've done that,
I never finished the first Spider-Man, and this is the reason why. I like to complete a map of stuff before I go for it. So I got all the collectibles, all the side things, all the suits, and then continued the story. Then it got to a point where it just unlocked a shitload more, and I was like, off. I spent so long getting all this.
Saying that though, I never did any of the DLC for it.
No, that.
I've not played Miles Morales, but I did really.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, I don't know if you guys remember playing Super Nintendo, PS1 sort of style RPGs, and you'd this is before achievements and stuff like that. Like, you would literally walk to all the edges of the map, just so you could like highlight them on your when you go to your map, and you wanted to have like as much of this map highlighted as possible, like and you could and exactly like and like it was like so frustrating because you needed to do it, and like that's kind of like where like achievements kind of lost it with me because it was like it was that plus that plus that. It was like, oh, just this is too much.
The reason why I suck at Command and Conquer is I want to color the map in before I fight anyone.
Yeah.
You know what really pissed me off? I got the Red Dead remaster, and it didn't have the map in it. You thought you're spending £35 on a 10-year-old game, they would have chucked the map that you got in on the PS3 in it.
I've got about 7 of them maps if you want a spare.
I've got it on PS3, okay. So I've got it, but I just thought they could have at least just chucked the map in as a little thanks for buying the game again.
Well, loads of
maybe they couldn't fold it that many times to get it to fit into the case.
You know what? I was thinking this the other day. Like the other day, I got like a pizza from like Tesco, and it had like a metallic font on the pizza box, and I was like, it was like the finest, you know what I mean? And I was thinking it was like a £5 pizza, and I was thinking if they could put a metallic font on like a £5 pizza that is just literally only there just to hold this product, whereas like a game is like something tangible that you want to keep forever. Why can't they do like little fancy touches like this on like our stuff that costs a hell of a lot more than a £5 pizza? Do you know what I mean?
You buy an indie game, you get loads of extras compared to when you buy a big game. Most of the little bits like key rings and that shite you don't use, but
I bet you do,
indie games that you get from like Red Art Games or something for £20. They chuck posters in and art cards and all that stuff, and then the layers you're getting out
and stickers.
It's so nice to like open something up and like, wow, what's this in here? Like, like you say, I don't ever even gonna look at all of it, but it's like I'm so impressed by it. It's like,
the amount of stuff that comes with Vita games, I used to think was amazing. I haven't got any that I can grab with the stuff in it, but like A Rose in the Twilight came with so much stuff, key rings, all this stuff, little stress ball of like the weird demon-y thing. And
what was that? Was it that Curry game that came with the bib?
Yeah, it came with a bib. What was the one that came with a pair of pants that you could use as a screen? It was like a size of a pair of kids' pants.
Underwear,
that's the worst thing about it.
That was a prison girl game, wasn't it?
Criminal Girls, was it?
Criminal Girls, yeah, that's it. I beat that game. It's actually quite good. I liked it.
I liked the first Criminal Girls. I haven't played the sequel because I haven't got it. But the first one, it's a strange game. Spanking girls and covering them in lotion to level them up is a bit weird.
Fantastic game.
Fucking love Vita.
Yeah. I'm surprised that's not come to the
wheel ready. Should we have a look at what we're going to play next? Maybe have a little discussion.
We're going to spin the wheel. 2 seconds.
Yeah. Let me work out.
Do we all do dodgy dancing like that Michael McIntyre show, do we? It's good.
The wheel.
I'm just looking now. My Criminal Girls score is 71%. I've done 71% of Criminal Girls.
You've done a lot more than me.
I how many hours have I put into it? That's the thing. Oh, it doesn't tell me hours. It's so old. It's not told me hours. Just 71%.
That's it. By the end of next year, Eddie, we both have the platinum Criminal Girls.
No, I actually liked it. It was good.
I did enjoy it.
Hey, Gordon. Go on.
Go.
Right then. Let's see what we've got for next month.
So we've added Ollie's games and we've added Chili's games. So they're all on there now. You can't see that though, can you?
Yeah, so there's 6 new games, yeah?
I should put in 3. I haven't put in 3.
Mm-hmm. Have you not put in 3 yet?
No. I'll think
3, Dylan.
I'll put them in
we get 3 for next month then, Dylan, yeah?
That's sad.
Right, so let's go and spin.
Spin, sugar, baby.
Oh,
that's
Eddie.
That's me. Hey. Hello.
Do you want to have a quick speech about your game you picked?
Hang on a second.
Marcus is going to be raging.
I was just
So it's
about
not
to say that.
yeah, it's not the third game, but it's the one I've got to hand. Donkey Kong Country 3, yeah. So we've all played the first one, but how many of us have we played the sequels? I've played them, but I've never beat them. I've played 100% of this, if not more. But the sequels, they've literally just because I've emulated them as an older person. Let's beat the game and see what we all think of it. In the end, is it as good as the original? Is it better? Who knows?
I've never beat a console version. I've only beat the Game Boy.
What else is that on, Eddie? Is there other ways to play that game?
Switch online, I think.
Yeah, that's how we play that.
Is it on any of the minis? Do you know? I've got a mini. But not
I'd
console.
imagine so. Yeah, like I'm not 100%. So
I'll
I
tell
don't
you.
know.
I played the first one and the second one, and then just like the Tropical Freeze and like the newer ones. But I don't think I've played that one.
Can I just tell a little secret? Can I just tell a secret to all of your audience? It costs nothing to download it from MU Paradise.
Oh,
It's not on the SNES Mini.
If Marcus is still in the chat,
I don't even have to look at the chat. I've not looked at the chat, so I apologise to anyone who has been in the chat. I am an absolute muppet when it comes to this kind of stuff.
So who owns that? Who owns that Drip game then already?
I've got the Tootie. He modded my mini, so I think it's on the mini.
Oh, you'll be on there, won't it? I've got a copy of that, so at least I don't have to spend any money.
I don't have it, but it's not too bad to buy if you want an unboxed copy on CEX at £25.
How much is a box copy?
50. 52.
That Nintendo tax.
Yeah.
I mean, Gordon paid as much for a manualless schmuck.
that's true.
Recently.
I think I'll plan on buying it at some point because I want to kind of at the end of this, I want to kind of have all the games from our Game Club 52. I think it would be quite cool to have them all physically.
Yeah.
With No, I'll find it at some point. I'll create some stuff.
I still want to get Fireshock. After playing it so much, I'm like, I want a proper copy of that. But the Japanese, I'll only get the Japanese one, and it's not.
I still want to buy an original copy of Fireshark.
Yeah, I think I sold my pal a copy of Fireshark for like £25. Like the Japanese one's like 100. It's like shit.
Ross, have you not got the retro bit one? Have you got that?
Yeah, I've got the retro bit one, but I want the original one.
Oh, retro bit one's really nice, isn't it?
That's lovely.
The whole retro bit collection's really nice.
Yeah, I wish I'd got them. They weren't that badly priced for what you were getting. I think they were the whole box
if you
really nice.
Buy the set now, I think the last one went for about £600. It's stupid.
Oh, I can imagine why. Yeah,
they're over 100 each. I sent one to Gordon for a laugh. He enjoyed it.
Oh, wow. It was that Chuckster, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Chuckster, it's up there. It's lovely, but it's too hard. It's far too hard.
Oh yeah.
I play it every now and again, thinking I'm going to get it, and it's solid. Absolutely solid.
Give it a J.
Aye.
He's the gamer in the house.
Well, that's true. I just tried to keep up. It doesn't work though.
I saw he was playing FIFA 19 again the other night. He was playing FIFA 19. It's like 400 hours he's put into it or something.
Between my PS4 and PS5, I think I've got like 6 different FIFAs downloaded. It's insane. And then he downloaded My Name Is Mayo 3, so I'm going to get another platinum tonight, hopefully. That'll be nice.
Your lass will be getting out after that. You're fucking hands.
Absolutely.
I wish I had a Wii to get like my platinums for me as well.
Just hire out to do OG games for you.
Well,
no, I mean, the thing is, it's like every one OG game that's platinumed on my system is like a negative.
Because I've got to live like my 6-year-old, so I've got platinums for My Little Pony, all the Paw Patrols, and for Christmas, she's not asked for them, but I've bought her 3 new ones: Bluey, Malicious, or something like that, and Trolls. So that'll be 3 more platinums for the start of the new year.
You say that for the platinums, but we all know that once that's been done, like she's played it, you've just actually gone and platinumed them all for her.
I have actually done that for a few of them. I spent 3 hours after we finished playing Paw Patrol.
You can't leave me with 76% because this is nothing.
That's like Big Bobby actually, Ross. I need to go back and bloody platinum that.
Big Bobby's surprisingly good though. It genuinely is.
Aye.
I need to buy. I enjoyed buying shite games just to play them. I can buy some more.
So, what's the time scale for playing this game? Is it Is it a month?
A month, isn't
reconvene in a month's time.
Aye,
Yeah.
I think so.
A
Yeah.
month or so.
And who picked this
Whenever
game? Was
we
it you,
can,
Evan?
I guess, yeah, whenever I can be bothered to stream it. So you're better off flipping play it and beat it.
Did you pick
No,
it?
I need one CAC or nothing, okay?
Was it one of your picks, Eddie?
It's one of my picks, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only person who chose something that is like 16-bit, other than obviously the schmuck.
No, someone picked Rollo, didn't he?
Oh yeah. Actually, I'm really glad that Rollo got picked. Actually, so
Is that the elephant one?
Yeah, man.
I'm glad it's something I own because I didn't want to buy it.
So
the
far,
games are ones that I've got on the Xbox that I wanted to play to actually use the Series X.
So what made you all choose your picks? Like for me, what made you pick all your picks? Like for me, like I picked games that were in my backlog that I really wanted to play. I knew they were good games.
I picked games that I'd played and I loved, and I wanted other people to experience them.
Like, mine was
Odyssey
like
Enslaved is one of mine, and I think if you've not played Enslaved, with a lot of people haven't, because it got overlooked because it was the time of Call of Duty and stuff like that. It's one of the best games of that generation.
People say that, but like everyone I've spoken to have all played Enslaved. Maybe
I loved Enslaved.
Yeah, we're in a little bubble though, aren't we? Quite a lot of times. If you talk to the normal person, they've probably never heard of it.
I picked 3 games that are kind of just on the cusp of getting played. So like Devil May Cry and that Left Alive. I think Left Alive is meant to be terrible, but I just still want to play it because the cover art's so good.
Yeah, no, that's intriguing. When you chose that.
Mm.
Yeah, when you chose that, it was like, I need to get that game. I don't know why, but
it's set in the Front Mission universe. I thought that's quite interesting, but I've heard it's absolutely terrible. Yeah, it's set in the Front Mission universe, and what's the artist's name? What's that artist's name?
He done all the Metal Gear stuff, didn't he?
Aye. What's his name? I keep on forgetting. Can't remember. Shinkawa or something like that. Something Shinkawa.
Aren't they all called that? Just kidding.
Chris Retro 48K's just texted us Donkey Kong Country Freeze on the Switch.
Switch Online, aye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said, isn't it?
That's where I'll be playing it for sure.
It's
not
on maybe not on the mini, but it's on the Switch Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, haven't you got like Gordon, have you got any can you play it on have you got any sort of a Raspberry Pi or anything like that?
Me, no, I'll just play the Switch Online one.
I've frozen the game. I've frozen the game. Look at me staring, admiring my video games. Oh,
yeah.
They're beautiful, man. Look at them. I can't take my eyes off them. I'm not looking out the window. Trust me.
There's no window.
I do feel like I need to get some kind of emulation box because I only play stuff I've bought.
Do you know what? These days I just emulate Windows. Right, that's the only emulation I do.
To be honest, I'm saying that I've given up playing my PS1 stuff on a PS1 now because I've learned about retro achievements and just playing it through DuckStation. So you can do that with everything. That's what we should do. Everyone emulate Donkey Kong Country 3 with retro achievements and get all the achievements.
Oh no!
I think I have a PC. So I can't really do that. Who's away, Dylan?
I don't.
I mentioned emulation.
Are we about there? Is everyone about had enough? I'm sure everyone's had enough of us. Fucking crap.
Thank you very much, boys.
Are we good for the night?
Was all good, man.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Cheers, Scott.
Yeah, I'm not the host with the most, as we would say. I don't really do this thing, so I'm glad it's not my game again. So yeah, look forward to seeing everybody's thoughts on this next game. Obviously, everybody is welcome in playing and joining in, not just Club 52. Anyone watching this can play it. Let us know in the comments for the next month's video. I'm sure Eddie will put something up on his channel when the next stream's going to be, when he wants to do it. Oh, he's back in the room. And we'll see you in around a month's time for the next one.
Ta-da.
Nice one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, cheers for joining in, and we'll see you all later.